Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CarterMatt.com.
This video is our journey for the first time into the Expanse Season 2, Episode 6, entitled Paradigm Shift, which feels appropriate, all things considered.
Very appropriate for this episode.
We are like, meet the new Expanse, kind of same as the old Expanse in some ways, and yet everyone is still kind of screwed. That is the real takeaway from all of this.
Yes, so that is still a stable plot line in this.
Yeah. Mars, I feel like Mars has it worse than pretty much everyone else. Like, think about what happened earlier on in the series, and now here we are, first the Donager, now Draper's entire unit.
Yeah, it's true. They haven't had it easy.
I will say this. If you guys are trying to make Draper into an underdog so that, we come to become invested in her more, pretty significant way to do that.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it. I'm still not invested yet, but they're paving the way for it. I feel it.
Yeah, they're trying. But before we go through anything in this episode, if you like this video, why not give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell? We got a lot to get to, and the Expanse Season 4 is coming, so Stick around for all of that. But where should we really go first here? Should we talk about the ending?
No, I want to talk about how empty my heart is.
Okay.
With Miller gone. It is still a great show. This was still a really great episode. I am very excited to see the shift of where we're going now, and I loved a lot about it. But I've been so invested in him that it really, I felt his absence. And I don't know if anybody else out there felt that going into this episode, or if everyone was like, all right, that story's wrapped up, we're ready to move into what's next. I know everybody watching it had a good long week in between it, and we had
a day,
less than a day. So for me, I spent all night long trying to come up with ways or reasons that he could still be alive, because I am living on planet denial.
Yeah.
I understand before everybody comes in the comments and is like, yo, he is dead. I know it. It's just, it's really hard to let go of him and let go of that storyline. So moving into this, I was like, oh yeah, and this is great, and this is cool, and this is going on. Where's Miller? Where is that storyline? So I did have a little bit of adjustment with this. So having it entitled Paradigm Shift. Yeah, there is a shift, definitely. I feel it. I feel like it's moving us in a really cool direction. I like that the Protmolecule storyline is not done yet.
Yeah.
But I miss him. I miss him.
I mean, I think we're going to miss Miller for a long time, and I think that's obviously why they chose to do this in the middle of the season, so that they could make us really upset and kind of just mind-bogglingly curious as to where things go from here. I mean, I do like Miller a lot as a character, and beyond all of that, it is still weird that we're in this sort of world now where almost everything connected to Miller's storyline is just absent, including everything from series. But I think what makes it the strangest to me really is nobody else who's sort of a significant part of the show at this point had that deep a connection to Miller. I mean, yeah, he was with this Roci crew for a very short period of time.
He was, but I feel like what they went through together bonded them in a way that nothing else could.
Yeah.
And I know that it feels like it's a short time, but it's not really. I mean, it takes weeks or months or however long it takes for people to travel places, and so even though it feels short, the show has I want to say struggled a little bit in showing the passage of time and how long it actually takes to get from one place to another place, because the show is action, bam, 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 things are all happening, and it feels like it's a very short time, but I've seen in the comments, and people have let us know that, it is a longer passage of time. So I feel like the connection was there with the crew. Even Holden got over what happened with Dresden and Miller's choice to do that. It was just, his absence was really felt in this, and yeah.
Well, I'll say this about the passage of time. I think it's kind of smart on their part that they're not actually saying that on the show, because if you start telling people how long it takes to get from one place to the next, if you screw it up at some point, then it starts to be everybody's trying to follow the timeline, and then it's like, this makes no sense, and then eventually you get like Game of Thrones where like Varys ends up like teleporting various places while it spends forever to get other people there. So
yeah, I agree. That was definitely something that was dropped in Game of Thrones, and it is not being dropped here.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like, I feel like the hardest thing for Miller to me is still that we didn't see enough, in my mind, of a lot of the bonding moments with Miller and everybody else in the crew. I'm sure it was there. I miss him, but I also know there's a lot of stuff that is happening right now. And I think probably the part of this episode I enjoyed the most was the hero's welcome, because this is sort of like the thing that happens at the end of a movie where you come back and it's all happy, everybody's cheering for you.
Yeah.
We got to see a few moments of that, but then it's like, oh yeah, just because these people are heroes doesn't mean that they're actually going to be okay or that their problems are really solved.
Yeah, it's true. And we saw that.
Yeah, we saw that, and we saw a number of other interesting things along the way, including it was almost as though Naomi and Holden went to HR to confirm their relationship.
They did.
If Amos is your HR, 9 times out of 10, that's probably a problem.
But not this time.
Yeah.
It seems that they already knew and they were fine with it, and he gave the creepiest line
of all
time. And we were actually just talking about this on another show on NCIS, which I know has no crossover here, but I'll let you guys know what it is. So there's 2 characters on that show that are a will they, won't they kind of relationship, and one of them said to the other one, "You're like a sister to me." So when they end up eventually hooking up, ick. So then this happened this week, and that happened last week. So his comment of, "She's like a sister to me, but I would still, go there with her
if she let me,"
was so ick, but I guess makes sense for him, but
hey,
I can't.
I feel like it's on some weird level kind of on brand for Amos to say something that's just like that messed up, but
it is so messed up to me. If somebody came to me and was like, "You're like a sister to me," if I ever had any sort of feelings for you, they are gone. That is done. Because then if it does ever move there, it's like, I'm like your sister, and now this is happening. So but yes, on brand for him, but definitely confusing. That look that Holden had on his face, like, what did I just hear? I had the same look, Holden. I feel you, Holden. It was weird.
I feel like this was a very on-brand episode for Amos as a whole, just because we also have the scene where he decides to help. I mean, I guess he's kind of Alex's wingman in some really weird, messed up way.
Yeah, and it made sense that he would do that. Alex is part of his crew, and he thought that he was getting his butt kicked, so he stepped in. And I get where Alex was coming from, where he was kind of like, I can fight my own fights, but sometimes, you need your buddies to step in and help it out. Not as much as he did, but help it out.
Yeah, and then later in the episode, we also have everything with the Martian flag controversy.
Yeah.
Amos was like up to 11 in this episode, which I enjoy Amos-related antics, so I'm kind of here for this. But
yeah, I'm here for it.
I feel like at other times, I think there's probably a lot of just like pounding the head against the wall with some of these other crew members. But I kind of like, though, the whole spirit of everyone's enjoying their brief moments of celebration before there are, of course, other serious matters to be attended to, such as they still have a protomolecule problem.
Yeah, they do, and not everybody knows about it, but the few people that do, it seems like nobody's on the same page about this.
No, and now we have the new mystery of the protomolecule just sort of just shutting down as it's continuing along its journey. What happens there?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed that Holden wanted to continue on with what Miller wanted and just destroy it all, and nope.
No. Nothing is ever easy, and this is why I will continue that the protomolecule is the one ring from Lord of the Rings that nobody can just throw into the fires of Mount Doom and have it be over with.
But now that that choice has been made and it has gone nowhere, I'm very curious to know who's gonna find it. Because at this point, Holden thinks it's gone.
Probably no one good.
Yeah, because now they're not really protecting it anymore. He thinks it's gone.
Yeah. This is probably not going to end in a really good way, but I'm going to try to connect some dots here.
Okay.
This is my theory that might be horrendously wrong.
All right, let's hear it.
Maybe the protomolecule served as like a summon in some ways, or a flare for these other people who showed up at the very end of this episode who may have been responsible for the decimation of Draper's entire crew.
Yeah.
Maybe these are our first, like, real full-fledged aliens that are kind of tangible and we can see them, and maybe it's like this protomolecule is some sort of, like, living, weird sort of flare creation, and maybe that, like, sent off some sort of, like, weird neural charge that brought them all there.
Yeah, and that would kind of make sense because you saw Bobby on the ground looking up, and then it wasn't exactly like the protomolecule where it, came together and became a person.
Yeah.
But there were some similarities there.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to, as someone who likes to find weird connections in every single show that I cover.
I think that's a good that was a good one.
I feel like might
good
be.
Theory.
Thank you. There might be something here. I mean, otherwise it's just some other people are just showing up completely out of nowhere. Unless there is some sort of, like, interesting secret connection that we don't know about. But in general, I'm really curious to see where that story goes with Draper. It's just like, it's kind of a hard thing to really talk too much about now, other than just like, man, the Martians are just screwed no matter what they try to do.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I'm a little more excited now to see where Bobby's story's going to go.
Yeah.
Because originally she was just kind of like, rah, rah, army, and I just couldn't get into it. Now she's had this where her whole crew is gone, the ship is gone, the captain's gone, everybody's gone. That's a life-changing experience. So I'm very interested to see if that rah-rah Martian army is going to be kind of sucked out of her a bit, and there's going to be a bit more of a real-world feel to her now, where it's like, oh my goodness, like, this has happened. I'm on my own. I'm not part of a crew anymore. I'm not part of a team. I'm not part of an army. I'm just me. So if it's kind of one of those types of life experiences that kind of make you just grow up real fast.
Yeah, and it might stick with her, and I mean, I hope it does bring about some interesting change and evolution there so we can sort of get to know her, but I'm guessing everything we've seen so far was sort of necessary to show us who she was as opposed to who she could now be.
Yeah.
So that's all interesting, and then you've got everything with Christian and what is going on here, which is a lot of stuff.
Amazing. That scene with Aaron Wright was so good. Where she's basically offering, all right, bring in Jules. I'll give him a deal. We'll work it out so that he'll be somewhat all right. And Aaron Wright's like, oh, that's very generous of you. It's very good for you. Okay, if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna burn his world to the ground. So you make sure that I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna kill his family. I'm gonna kill his dog. I'm gonna destroy.
Are you turning into Gus Fring now?
That was what was happening with that. It was, and she did it with such poise. It was beautifully executed. One of my favorite scenes with Christian. Again, I love her. I can't say it enough. I just love her, which means she's probably going to die, because every person that I've been completely invested in this show so far is gone, except for her.
The Expanse is the official we can't have nice things shows of the science fiction genre at the moment, but come on, Christian, you got to pull through for a little while longer here just so that we can continue to have this sort of goodness. But I also like how it was oddly connected in some ways to what we were getting in these flashbacks way back when, where we learned a thing or two about Solomon, and Solomon, as it turns out, is a character responsible for basically allowing the belt in its current form to even really exist. And it's sort of like whatever is happening now with Eros is sort of like the biggest innovation or discovery that has transpired since Solomon's discovery so many years ago.
Yep.
We don't really know everything when it comes to the end of Solomon's journey just yet. I think there's something more there, maybe. Didn't look like it was going great in the end.
No, it really didn't. But he was saying that even if he doesn't make it through, that his wife is still gonna have access to this technology and be able to do whatever she's going to do with it, whatever made it possible for all of this to happen.
And it seems like we're going on some sort of journey to Venus, and maybe we'll see some of that play out.
Miller!
Okay, yeah, we're gonna see
I'm still in denial. I am fully aware I saw it all blow up. He's probably in a million little tiny pieces at this point.
Unless it is Venus, weird alien symbiote Miller, who is just sort of like...
I will take what I can get.
I might be able to take what I can get, because I don't know what that atmosphere in Venus is going to do to all of this sort of stuff. He might look kind of terrifying, so...
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay, well, now that we've established that, Fred Johnson. Let's talk about what Fred Johnson is up to at the moment. I mean, he's snatching missiles,
Yes, he is.
He's trying to deal with some problems, because, spoiler alert, not everyone is happy with what's happened to the Nauvoo.
No, yeah, and he's definitely in a tough spot right now. So him snatching up a couple of those missiles, not that surprising. I wasn't surprised when it was like, oh, the big reveal, Fred's got him. Yeah, of course he's got him.
Yeah.
He had control over them for a little while with the guiding system. Yeah, he's going to scoop a couple of them up. It's not surprising. He kind of needs to save his own hide at this point.
Yeah.
Everybody's mad at him.
Yeah, Fred, I think, is in total self-preservation mode at the moment, which... he kind of needs to be
he does.
At this point, but I feel like Fred is my number one on characters most likely to be dead soon.
I figured as much as well, probably because I really like him. So, here we go again.
Well, yeah,
I like him. I like the actor. He's an interesting character.
Yeah, he's an interesting character, and Chad Coleman's just awesome in everything.
Oh my God, he's so good.
But it is a situation now where... he's got so many people who are going to come after him. He's probably only going to be able to sort of get his way out of so many situations at this point. But he's in a spot where, I think he does have people who want to be loyal to him on some measure. But at the same time, it's just sort of like, how far are you really willing to go? And if he ends up escalating something, that's another problem altogether, because I don't exactly think we're out of the woods on the whole, Earth versus Mars war that has sort of been bubbling underneath the surface for the entirety of the show.
Yeah.
So, I feel like this episode, yes, it's a paradigm shift, but I think it's also a foundation. I think it's sort of giving us a sense of where everyone is now.
Yeah.
And rather than like sticking a knife in us, it's just like hovering the knife and like making it clear that something could happen.
They already did that in the last episode. I'm not over that yet.
Okay, well, we're still going to go off and lick our wounds a little bit from that.
Yeah,
but
I am.
We want to know from you guys, when you saw this episode for the first time, what did you think about most of it? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the Carter Matt store, and we'll see you here next time.